Hey everybody, welcome to week 10 material. This week we are covering audio. I'm not super well versed in audio, and this week you're certainly not going to be learning how to make your own audio from scratch, but you will be learning how to incorporate audio into your Unity projects. Right now, for context, we are working in the terrain scene. This is the version with the coins, with the basic fireworks that I got from the Unity Asset Store, and I replaced the Chevolo Guy third-person controller with the first-person camera from week 3. The reason for that is that the first-person camera only has one script attached to it, and that's going to make it easier for me to work with as we move further into this topic. Because whenever you work with audio, you will inevitably be working with scripting as well. Audio and scripting go heavily hand in hand. You can do a large amount of audio work without scripting, but then there's going to be some cases where you will really need to incorporate scripting for your workflow when it comes to audio. All right, so the first thing we want to cover is the audio listener component. Now, thankfully, I don't have to do anything about this because the main camera of basically every Unity project comes equipped with an audio listener. If this wasn't here, all we would have to do is just, well, we can just go to add component and just find audio listener, and from there we can just incorporate that back into the inspector of the player camera. But thankfully, for our purposes and for your purposes, every single basic camera in every single Unity scene is going to already come equipped with an audio listener. Very easy to get it otherwise if you don't see it. The audio listener, quite simply, listens for sounds. You can hear the sounds from the object with the audio listener in a 3D space. That's why typically the audio listener is placed on the camera, because the camera is always going to be near the player, near where you're going to be playing the scene. So you will have the best chance of hearing all of the sounds you want to hear if the audio listener is attached to the camera that is always going to be near the player. So that's why audio listener is most commonly attached to the camera. All right. So let's inspect the scene a little bit, and let's decide what kind of audio we actually want for this scene. So, looking at this scene, I can tell you 4 basic things we'll need. Potentially we could use more, but I'm just going to focus on 4 basic things for the purposes of this demo. So, what we need is some background music when we play, because most games are interactive or interactive projects of some sort have music that plays, so it doesn't make sense to have completely silent scenes, especially for your final project. We need some background music. We need something for, let's actually play the scene a little bit. We need a sound for when the character jumps. We need a sound for the character walking around. And we need a sound for the character actually collecting the coins here. We need a basic coin collecting sound. Now, again, we can add more sounds. We can add some ambiance. We can add something for the firework. But for the purposes of this demo, I just want to focus in on those 4 basic sounds: background music, jump sound effect, walk sound effect, and a sound effect for collecting coins. Now, good news, and by the way, we made a quick cut. We're now in the asset store. The good news is that audio assets are plentiful in the Unity Asset Store. More to the point, free audio assets are plentiful in the Unity Asset Store. So you're welcome to peruse the Unity Asset Store for any and every sound effect or music track that you could possibly need for your projects, final project or otherwise. Additionally, you're also welcome to just peruse the internet in general. Now, you got to be careful when you're perusing the internet for royalty-free music, as most sites that offer them have signups and limits and restrictions for the downloads. So, if you are going to be looking for sound effects and or music from other websites that isn't the Unity Asset Store, you're welcome to. Just be careful of the signups and the limits and the restrictions and the downloads. All right, quick jump. I am at the My Assets page of My Asset Store. I found some assets, both from the Asset Store and from the internet in general, that I'm going to be using for this demo. So give me a quick second. I'm going to go ahead and import all this into Unity, and we will be back inside Unity. Okay, back in Unity, everything has been downloaded/imported. We actually made a new folder called audio here. We can open it up. We have this night sky music. We can actually go ahead and listen to the music here within within the inspector itself. You won't be able to hear anything because of the way that my computer is set up right now, but I will be able to test out just by hitting play here in the inspector. Nice. Okay. And I can also test out the sound effects. The night sky music I got from the asset store, but everything else I got just from the internet in general. So let's see, we have these grass footsteps here. Let's play. Okay. We have this jump. All right, so we have all our sound effects. How do we actually go about attaching them to the scene? How do we make them actually interact with the scene itself? Well, we can for some cases, such as this walking, for example, is walking on grass. We can literally just go to our player character. We can let's see, we can add a component. We can add audio source. Let's see, there it is, audio source. We can attach an audio clip, in this case, the footsteps. And we can, well, let's see, these are going to be footsteps. So I don't want them to play on awake. I want them to play when I actually start moving. So loop. And let's see what happens. Let's play on awake. The sound effect is playing, but it also plays when I'm not walking, which I don't want. Would like the sound effect to only play when I'm walking. So you know what? Maybe the grass here maybe the walking sound effect wouldn't be the best choice here. Let's try the actual background music. We can play on awake, and we can make sure it loops, and we can start playing the scene. Yeah, that's better. That makes more sense for the audio source. It's very nice. But ultimately, it is somewhat limiting, and you yourself may have trouble hearing this. I will make sure at the very end that I change these settings on my recording so that you can actually listen to the final version of all this. But essentially, what I've done is I have placed the background music, the night sky, into the audio clip here. I have it so that it plays on awake. So the second the scene starts, the music begins, and I have it on loop so that the music essentially just never ends, so that we don't go 3 minutes and then things go quiet forever. That's good. We want to make sure that of that for the background music. We have some settings here in the audio source. We have priority. We have the most important one here is spatial blend. Spatial blend makes it so that it makes sounds 3D, so that so that if a sound plays to your right, you hear it on the right speaker. If it plays to the left, you hear it on the left speaker. It's not really relevant now for the background music, which is going to be playing the entire time at the same volume. But it is interesting to play around with spatial blend if you would like. You can also play around with pitch, with all these settings here. But ultimately, as we just saw, audio source is effective, especially for basic things like the background music, but it is limiting because we don't really have a solid way to play our sound effects. So what I'm going to show you is how to use audio with scripting. That's going to be the main topic that we're going to be covering. We don't actually need this audio source anymore because we're going to incorporate the we're going to incorporate the background into our scripting as well. So we don't need that audio source anymore. We're going to incorporate our 4 sound effects here via script. So let's go ahead and actually do that. The first thing we need to do is some prep work here in the actual scene itself. We need an empty game object. We need to call this empty game object audio manager. For the audio manager, we need to create a script for that empty game object. So let's go ahead and go to my scripts here to keep things organized. I'm going to create a C# script, and this script is going to be called audio manager. And next, I am going to go ahead and just attach this to the audio manager here in the hierarchy. All right, now we need to actually open up the script and do some basic work here. So let's go ahead and open this up. All right, so rather than opting to just type in all of this script for you bit by bit and recording myself doing that, I opted to just cut until I finished writing the part of the script that I wanted to write for the beginning here. So I'm going to save real quick, and I'm going to walk through what I did, which is very, very simply, I just created a bunch of fields in the inspector to assign our music clips to, as well as to assign audio sources to. We will talk about audio sources in 1 second. I wrote a whole bunch of notes regarding a serialized field. Essentially, it is a private variable that we can that we are allowed to change, but cannot be changed from other scripts. This is mainly done for debugging purposes to provide a cleaner script, because the less opportunity to change or access pieces of code from other code, then the less opportunity there is to create bugs. You can see the notes here. This script will be made available to you in the Moodle, so you'll be able to download it and use it at your leisure. I'm going to save again just to make sure I have it. The only thing I've done so far is just create a whole bunch of fields where we can assign things, and that's it. That's all we've done. We've just created a whole bunch of fields where we can assign things, and we can go ahead and look at that here in the inspector in Unity. As you can see, all we did was create 2 audio sources that we can assign. The 2 audio source fields we can assign, and the 4 audio clip fields that we can assign clips to as well. That's all we've done with the script so far. All we've done is create a whole bunch of fields that we can assign things to. Our next step, we're going to create 2 more empty game objects. So I'm going to create this one. I'm going to call it music. And for the music, I am going to add the audio component, audio source. And then I am just going to, again, create an empty. This one's going to be called sound effects. And from sound effects, I am just going to add an audio source component to that as well. I'm going to make both music and sound effects, these 2 empty game objects that only have a transform component and an audio source component. I'm just going to make both of them children of the audio manager for easy organization later. We can keep the audio manager down there for now. That's okay. We can actually, no, we can move it up here. It's okay. There's no problem moving it up there. All right. Next, with the audio manager selected, we're going to lock that in the inspector. We're going to take these components, the music, these empty game objects that have audio sources attached to them, the music one and the sound effects one, and we're just going to attach them to their proper locations here, music source and sound effects source. The music, we're going to attach to music source, and sound effects, we're going to attach to sound effects audio source. And quick cut, we are now back in our audio manager script. I went ahead and added just a little bit more, specifically this little private void start chunk right here. All this chunk is responsible for is starting the background music as soon as you hit play. So whatever is in the clip for background, that is going to play immediately as soon as we start the game. So let's go ahead and go back to our, let's go ahead and save again. Let's go ahead and go back to Unity. And next, I'm just going to attach the background music, the night sky music, into the background clip here. And now I'm going to hit play, and I'm going to see what happens. And again, you may not be able to hear it, unfortunately, right at this very second, but I, in fact, do hear the music played right now. So, hooray, this works. That is very, very good to hear. I'm doing a lot of cutting for this video, but again, I don't want to show you the whole process of just writing out the script itself, because that's not very interesting. I'd rather just skip ahead to when the script is written and explain what the script does. Again, this script is going to be available to you on the Moodle, the completed version of this, so you don't have to worry about, writing all of this out yourself. This will be made available to you. In between cuts, I went ahead and just added these few little lines here, this one little chunk here, this public void for playing sound effects. I can access this public void from other scripts. So now I'm going to have to jump into other scripts for the first person character and for the coin mainly, and attach this little sound effect source into those scripts. That way they know that when something is collected or when I walk or jump or something, that the appropriate audio clip will play. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I'm gonna go ahead and save this again. Just we have this little bit here saved. I'm all done with this particular script, so I'm not going to do any more editing to it. This is the final version to it, and this will be made available to you on the Moodle. So let's go track down those other scripts, shall we? Real quick, to help reference our audio manager and other scripts, we're going to go ahead and give the audio manager a tag of audio. We don't actually have that tag here listed, but we can quickly add it right here. So I'm just going to add audio, and there we go. We can now go back to the audio manager. I can add the tag for audio, and now let's go hunt down those scripts. All right, so I went ahead and did some changes to the scripts as I said I would. You'll notice I'm back in the audio manager script to start off with. The first thing I want to make note of is I got rid of the walking audio clip. Unfortunately, it proved to be a bit too much work to include a walking sound effect, at least a walking sound effect that sounded pretty good into the project in general. It would take a lot more coding and a lot more time that, quite simply for this demo, I don't have. So this will be something I look into and hopefully can provide a solution to later on. But as of right now, we're not going to add a walking sound effect. Just for now. We'll see if we can add something later, or if we can find a solution online. But for now, it proved a lot more complicated than everything else. So let's go over this. The background we already have covered here in our audio manager script. Here we can access the place sound effects in other scripts. So let's go ahead and look at how we incorporated the jump and the collect coin into previously established scripts. Let's go to the FPS controller first. You'll notice it's mostly the same as what it was before, but I added in this little chunk right here, this audio manager, where I reference the audio manager, and define that the audio manager is something with the game tag audio, i.e., if we go back to Unity real quick, our audio manager has the game tag audio, so it's referencing this component in the inspector here. And if we go down to the part where the character jumps, we can see that I just went ahead and went into a part of the script that already existed, if input.getJump, get button jump. So basically, when the character jumps, not only is it going to have the character jump based on the jump power that is located in the inspector for the player, but it's also going to play the sound effect for the jump. And in the coin here, we can see that I did a little bit more work. Here again is the same audio manager chunk that I had in the FPS controller, right here. This same little chunk to reference and call on the audio manager in our hierarchy. If I go a little bit below here, we can see this little bit here called if this little bit that happens when the player collides with a when an object tagged as player collides with one of the coins. Not only does it destroy the coin, but now it's going to play the coin sound effect. So yeah, let's go ahead and test this out real quick. Again, you're not going to be able to hear anything, but I will. And one of the big things that you will notice as soon as we get in, not only is the background music playing, but as soon as I jump, the jump sound effect plays, but there is a little bit of a pause before the jump actually starts playing. And same with the coin. I can collect the coin, I get the sound effect for the coin, but there's a little bit of a pause of like a split second before the actual coin sound effect plays. Now, the reason for that is something that we can't actually fix in Unity, but you will notice here the jump sound effect in the inspector. There is a little bit of a delay before the jump actually starts. Same with the collecting coin sound effect. There is a whole delay here before the coin sound effect actually happens. So if I were to, if I wanted to have a situation where the coin sound effect played immediately as soon as I collected the coin, I would have to take this into a program like Audacity or Premiere Pro or something of that nature and edit the audio file so that I would get rid of all this dead space here before the actual sound effect started playing. Same with the jump sound effect here. But essentially, I am going to go ahead and do a quick cut so you can see, so you can actually listen to the scene for yourself. That is a very, very simple introduction to audio. I'm going to include extra material from other YouTubers in regards to doing more in regards to taking your audio work further, including hopefully finding some kind of a solution for the for the walking sound effect. But in terms of what I wanted to show you, again, audio is not my strong suit. I just wanted to show you the very basics of how to incorporate sound effects via either non-scripting via non-scripting or through scripting itself. I hope this short video helped. Feel free to look through all the additional material that I will have for you on audio stuff. And for now, I will see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.